So we're not going to do it this week in this episode, but I think we do owe the listeners at some point a full episode on the lyrics, I saw Tiger, Tiger saw man.
Would y'all forget about
What do you
that
think?
song
What is that
just
from?
once and for all?
I don't even know what that is.
Just
what is it?
Table talk, what do you guys think about doing an entire episode on that song?
I think we'd do about 5 seconds on it, and that's all you can do. It's the dumbest song ever, and I don't know why you guys are so hung up on it.
We need to see if we can get Joe Exotic on the show. Maybe he'll be
Now that I would be
great,
up for.
Great podcast guest.
He's still in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he do the show from prison?
And then he pissed off because his twink divorced him while he was in prison.
Yes.
What a crazy
All right,
show.
well, let's just all appreciate the richness of the lyrics. I saw
not
Tiger,
rich, it's
Tiger
not
saw
rich.
man.
The Musers, the podcast. It's episode 14, Superstitions.
Welcome to the Musers, the podcast. We are the Musers. I'm Craig.
I'm George.
And I'm Gordon.
We've been doing a radio show in Dallas together for 30 years, and now we're trying our hand at podcasting, and this is episode 14.
Oh.
I don't think we're veterans yet, but my question is, how long do you have to podcast, or how many podcasts do you have to do to be considered veteran podcasters?
A year?
Yeah, I just don't know when the pension kicks in.
You're
When
no
are you
longer a rookie?
fully vested?
Yeah, I wouldn't bank on that.
Oh,
But what if you've podcasted for a year, but you've only done 2 in that year?
Yeah, then you can't be a veteran.
no.
So does it have to be either a year or 50 podcasts, whichever comes first?
Seems like 14's enough to call ourselves veterans.
Yeah.
Let's go with veterans.
I'm veteran.
We
I
are
don't feel
veteran
like it.
podcasters.
I'm a total veteran. Thank you for your service.
Well, 13 episodes are in the books, and so far, thankfully, response has been pretty positive. Thank you for all the kind comments that have been posted on Apple and Spotify, and thanks for all the messages sent to us via social media and email. And speaking of email, before we get to our topic this week, superstitions, we would like to introduce a new feature, the letter of the week.
Yay.
Theme song.
Note to advertisers, this spot available for sponsorship. This
Totes.
week's letter of the week comes to us from a land far, far away, and you may have heard us in previous episodes mentioning our Singapore listeners. Well, because of how detailed you can get with podcast analytics these days, we are able to see that we have many listeners in different countries around the world: Turks and Caicos, Kuwait, the Maldives. We have listeners in Saudi Arabia, Andorra, Albania, Fiji, and we have about 8 people in Singapore who download each episode. And this week we got an email from one of our Singapore listeners. Hello to the Musers. My name is Liam, and I am one of your much referenced listeners in Singapore. It tickles me to no end when that gets mentioned in an episode. While I may be your most remote listener, I am exceptionally familiar with you all. I grew up in Lake Highlands, and I've been a P1 of your radio station my entire life, and even attended the Ticket versus Lake Highlands girls basketball game in which Corby wore tennis shoes and fell to the ground like a stack of marbles.
Sprained his ankle.
It was actually running shoes,
Yeah.
is why he fell to the ground, not tennis shoes. Thank you for your radio show, and thank you for the podcast. They remain my one everyday link to the town I grew up in. Signed, Liam.
Wow, how about that? From being a Lake Highlands Wildcat all the way to Singapore.
Where is Singapore? Is that the land down under? Which one is that one?
It's kind of close to the land down under. It's in southeastern Asia.
Okay.
It's fairly tiny with a lot of islands, but not a huge footprint.
What's the population of Singapore? Let's see if you can guess it.
Do you know it?
I'm guessing it's under 3 million. Is that wrong?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
That sounds
That's,
good. 3.5 million.
Sad
How about that?
clueless I am about the world.
The population of Singapore is 6 million.
Ooh,
Okay,
double what I said.
You didn't count Liam. So, yeah, okay.
And 3 million others you didn't count.
Yes,
and,
yes.
and them too.
Indeed.
All right, that's our letter of the week. Thank you for reaching out, Liam. And if you'd like to email us, you can do so at this address, themuserspod themuserspod@gmail.com. themuserspod@gmail.com. All right, our topic for this episode, superstitions. I think this is going to be a fun ride because as I was thinking about this, I realized I'm probably more superstitious than I realized. According to Webster's, a superstition is simply defined as a notion maintained despite evidence to the contrary. And most people, when they observe a superstition or adhere to a superstition, they probably ignore that last bit, evidence to the contrary.
Yeah.
There being no evidence that this is a lucky number or that you have to walk this many steps or whatever it is. But when I was thinking about this, I decided to notice myself through the day and see what superstitions I have. And something came to me very, very quickly, and this is a very common one, but I have a superstition surrounding the number 13.
Really?
So a few episodes ago, I told you about my passion being bike riding, and I don't know how many times that I have ridden my bike. It's in the tens of thousands of bike rides. And after each ride, I will always write down in my fitness diary or cycling diary how far I went and the time and how I felt and all of that. I will never ride 13 miles, ever. If I have ridden 12 and I'm exhausted, I will stop there, or if I have I'll get it to 14. Like if my ride is going to take me home and it's going to be exactly 13, I'll ride around the block a few times until I have 14, because I refuse to go home and write down 13 in my diary.
Well, you're not alone, because we've found out some buildings, hotels will not have a 13th floor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so stupid.
Yeah, it's never hit me, but I can't accuse you of being crazy, because I'm about to tell you some that are just so dumb.
So here's another one with 13. I will never book a flight where my seat is in the 13th row. Ever.
Yeah, see, I've never thought about
I'll
that.
Just take a
12th?
different flight?
I'll book the 12th. I'll book the 14th. Yeah. If it was, if the only seat available on a flight was in the 13th row, I wouldn't do it.
Did you used to freak out in our old office? We were on the 13th floor, right?
Hated it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Hated it. And I like when I get into a hotel and it goes from the 12th floor to the 14th floor and there's no 13. Although in my mind, the 14th floor is still the 13th
It's still
floor.
number 13. They're just not
Yeah.
labeling
That's
it that
why
way.
it's so stupid that they do that. As a kid, when I was first told that, my dad told me that. We were riding an elevator, and I didn't notice there wasn't a 13 on it. He told me that because some people consider 13 a bad luck. It goes back to the Bible. And yeah, so they don't have a 13. But I said, if you count up, there's a 13th floor. They're just mislabeling it. If you just mislabel
Right.
something, then all the bad luck goes away. That doesn't make any sense.
Apparently.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what they should do is they should leave the 13th floor just empty, but still
Right.
have a 13th floor, but nobody stays on the 13th
Well,
floor.
they should leave it empty except for they fill it with rabbit's feet for good luck.
Yeah, to counterbalance
Right.
number 13.
You know, also back to the sport of cycling. In that sport, if somebody in a race is given the number 13, the tradition is to pin it on your back upside down.
That sounds like more bad luck to me, but I don't know.
I guess it's like a horseshoe. It's draining the bad luck out of it if you pin it upside down. But I've had that happen before in races where I've gotten number 13 and I will pin it on upside down. I hate it. And I'm overly cautious during that race because I think I'm going to wipe out. But the odd thing is with 13, Friday the 13th has never really bothered me. I will fly on a Friday the 13th.
See, but that's supposed to be doubly bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got a few more things on 13.
Okay.
Unless you got it. Is this about
No,
13?
this is not a 13, no.
Okay. I have also always admired athletes who wear the number 13
Mm-hmm.
without it freaking them out.
So Dan Marino wore it, but didn't win a Super Bowl.
Never won a Super Bowl. Steve Nash wore it. Never won an NBA title. James Harden never won an NBA title. Paul George never won an NBA title. The athletes that have worn 13 and somehow succeeded that I found were Wilt Chamberlain, although he only won 2.
Yeah, that was kind of the knock on him, that he didn't win more.
Yeah,
Right.
but he had good luck off the floor, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had more than 13.
So
A-Rod, who when he went to the Yankees started wearing 13, did win a title there.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Warner. But you could say that Kurt Warner, who did win a Super Bowl wearing 13, wasn't he in the Arena League? And maybe that's because he wore 13.
what?
Okay. Yeah. That's how he got started, I guess, was the Arena League.
But we have had a few athletes succeed, but the most famous are Marino and Nash, and they never won a title wearing 13. But I always admired the athlete who will have the balls to go out there and wear number 13, and it doesn't seem to bother them.
Another one that A-Rod, you may put this on his ledger, he had to eventually put up with J-Lo. So that was,
That's
Bad
bad
luck.
luck.
yeah, bad luck there.
Yeah. And I think that was J-Lo's 13th marriage, so that's bad luck.
All right. I can't say anything to you about 13. Do y'all freak out when you see the black cat on the side of the road or the street? Because I do.
Yes,
No,
I do.
No, never.
And I have
never.
no evidence that says something bad happened to me after I saw the black cat, but it always freaks me out for at least, I don't know, half of that day as I'm waiting for something to receive bad news or something happen. And I have found myself going in an opposite direction, even like going down a street and thinking, okay, I'm going to take a left here so I don't have to either cross the path of that black cat or
It's supposed to be
the deal
them
is-
crossing your path,
it
Yeah.
right?
crosses, but I'm not going to give him that opportunity. I'm going to take a left here so I don't get near that black cat, which is so dumb.
I'm with you. I'll have a cat cross in front of me, and I will think about it in the moment, but it doesn't hang with me for the rest of the day.
You've never accelerated to try to
Hit one?
You guys are
That's really
jerks.
gotta be
I
bad
used to
luck.
have a black cat.
I did too.
My beloved black cat, Salem.
I'm sorry. Oh, wow. What a spooky name.
Well, he's named after Sabrina the Teenage Witch because a
A
friend of
witch?
mine did the voice of that cat on that show.
Okay.
So we named him Salem to honor my friend.
How
Who-
long did the
who-
cat live?
Good 14 years,
That's
probably.
pretty good.
Yeah. It was a great cat. Rescued him, found him as a little kitten out in front of the house.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But I have no evidence that says
You know why you
something
don't?
real.
Because there is no evidence, George.
I don't know. It's just been placed in my brain, though. Oh, geez, stay away from black cats.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
It doesn't hang with me, but I would prefer a white cat or Siamese cat or something else to cross my path.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
It's like with all of these, yes, my reasonable part of my brain understands that this is having no impact on my life.
But your stupid part says, what if? What if?
But the stupid part says, well, it doesn't cost you anything to not wear the number 13.
Yes, it does. It costs you fear, paranoia, attention. That's the problem with superstitions. If you run that logic on all of these things, because the list of superstitions is 400 miles long, slight exaggeration, 1,300 miles long.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
say
what
that.
it is.
More of an exaggeration. But yeah, if you start paying attention to every single one of them, it gets into that kind of weird OCD territory where you're having to watch your step and you're trying not to step on lines and you won't go behind a ladder and you're doing a bunch of stuff that you don't need to do. You're knocking on wood, you're saying gazoon tight and God bless you when someone sneezes, all that stupid stuff.
You don't have a dumb one?
No, here's my list. Superstitions are bullshit. That's my entire list.
You don't have one.
I don't have one.
Wow.
Now-
okay, maybe that's because we're bigger sports fans than you. Because a lot of mine that we'll get into revolve
Yeah.
around sports.
Yeah.
Yes, because sports, for whatever reason, athletes, because it's so, every game is a game of millimeters. And so you're looking for any advantage. And so people get so in their heads about bad luck. That's why athletes are just so superstitious.
Yeah.
And because they're superstitious, it passes on to you, the sports fan. That's why I avoid the whole thing and just don't watch sports.
Baseball's as far as the participants, they're the worst about it.
Yes, for
Not
sure.
stepping on lines,
Yeah, you
doing
can't
something to get out of a slump or
when you
whatever.
walk onto a field, you can't step on the foul line. That is seen as bad luck. So you'll see tons of players do this and they jump over the foul line or something like that. I think that's because there's more downtime in baseball. You're sitting
You have more time to
around
think
a
about it.
lot. You're standing around a lot. In fact, most of the time, if it's a 2.5-hour baseball game, you're probably in action only 20 minutes of that.
Yeah.
So you've just got so much downtime. But yeah, there's the not stepping on a foul line. There's the don't talk to the pitcher if he's got a no-hitter going.
Yeah, you can't even talk to him. and if you're talking to a teammate, don't say that he has a no-hitter.
Right.
A major leaguer once told me, you say, he has a mild sunburn going right now.
Wait, what?
A mild sunburn? Yeah, you don't say anything about he hadn't allowed a hit.
Does that just mean he's been out on the mound a long time, or what?
I guess so. I don't know.
I don't know where it came
Jeff
from.
Russell told me that, ex-Ranger
How
pitcher.
odd.
Yeah.
Now, I get not talking to the pitcher because you don't want to
Get in his
distract
head or
him
something.
in any way.
Hey, you're through 6.
But it has
No hitter
nothing to
going.
do with, you affecting the energy of the universe that's going to cause him to lose his no-hitter.
But it even seems like it spills over to the announcers, that they don't want to talk about the fact that if they're the home team announcers.
Because they don't want to get
3-6.
blamed. This is all trying to avoid the mob mentality of stupid people. That's why
fans would get mad at him.
Fans will get mad.
But I bet the player would get mad at him. What, you said I had a no-hitter in the 5th?
Yeah, so you're to blame for me losing it, not the fact that I served one up right over the middle.
Hey, you gave up the
just hung
3-run
it.
homer, not me.
I can't tell you how many text chains I've been on with friends watching various sporting events, and I will say something like, wow, we haven't had a turnover yet today, or wow, our guy's got a no-hitter going, and then I'll get hit up back immediately. You just jinxed us.
Yeah, so
I know.
stupid.
Sports fans are
I love
so
being the guy that jinxes them.
superstitious. And when we talked about doing this, I thought, I'm really not superstitious. But then I found myself this past weekend, and I've done this, and I know Craig has too, throughout cheering for a team, especially if you're watching the game at home, and they're not having very good luck if you're sitting on the couch.
Oh, boy.
Then you go sit on another chair.
Yes.
I found myself doing that this weekend watching my son's team because 2 weeks ago when I sat in this chair, they did better. So I went and sat in that chair.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they did do better.
See, it works.
Oh, God.
And you feel like, I guess, it's almost beyond superstition. It's like you're doing your part as a fan.
Yeah.
And I felt that way watching my kids in sports, whether it was my oldest playing golf. I was very leery of what I would wear to the golf tournament. Watching my other sons play football, we had a seating chart in the family, and if it wasn't working, then I'd say, hey, you switch. You sit there, and then, yeah, okay. Let's see if that works. Rally cookies at halftime. Rally M&Ms at halftime if they were down. Those seemed to work pretty well.
What are
Again,
rally M&Ms?
Just doing my part, because if I didn't, I was very superstitious that it wouldn't work out.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I have at halftime, if my team is playing poorly, I've gone into my room and changed clothing because clearly the shirt I have on is a bad luck shirt. So I need to reset. It's called resetting.
Yeah, it's a reset.
And you're right. You can't send in a play. You can't take the ball and run with it. You can't swing the bat, whatever it is. So you're trying to do your part as a fan by impacting the collective energy in the universe, the sports energy. And you can very well do that by changing clothing,
Right.
or changing your position. I'll sometimes, if sitting is bad luck, I'll stand up by the TV and watch. And if you change something like that, change a position, and then your team starts playing well, then you will stay in that position the rest of the game.
Absolutely. And then speaking of clothing, for a conference winning streak back when I was doing North Texas, they won 25 straight Sun Belt games. I wore the same shirt, same pants, and same shoes to all of those conference wins.
Did you wash them, though?
Yes, I washed them, kept them clean.
You're not supposed to wash them.
I would only take it so far. And then once they lost, I didn't wear it anymore.
Right, that makes sense.
The good luck was gone.
Yeah, but you were wearing it when they lost.
Yeah, but not the previous 25. 25-1, that's a pretty good record.
Well, and that's because the good luck ran out.
Right. Yeah, something's only going to have luck for so long.
So it's unfalsifiable.
Whether it's a shirt or a
So-
package of M&Ms, they're only going to be good for a couple of games or a couple of quarters.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Okay, now superstitions, they do work on your own mentality. Like, it's an outward sign of an inner invisible grace, is what we used to say in the church. So if you do a ritual, you can affect your own mentality. So if it's your performance that you're doing and you have to do certain things that you feel help get you in the zone, like that,
That's okay?
I
Okay.
think that that's okay and acceptable to a certain point, because if it makes you a head case, then obviously it's starting to get detrimental to you.
Yeah.
But if you want to get in the mood to do something right, and you have a few items that help you get in the mood, or you have a routine that gets you in the mood, those are forms of superstition in a way, because they don't necessarily, they put you in the right mentality, not necessarily the right physical space.
Yeah.
But
Or there is a line there between routine and superstition, though.
yeah. Yes. Where is that line?
I don't know. I can't say. But like I've heard from swimmers that say they have to listen to the exact same song going to a competition.
Yeah, and if they've performed well listening to that exact same song going to the competition, they associate it with winning in that particular performance. So subconsciously it primes them to give their best because they recognize that it's associated with winning the meet before. So it can help them in that sense, but it doesn't help them in the cosmic sense of, I need to play this song and everything, so then the universe will give me the energy. No, the energy comes from within you.
Right.
You're associating it with the winning that you had before.
But if your favorite morning show plays Der Kommissar on the way to a golf tournament and you play well, then there is something to that. We did that in high school. Yeah. That was our high school golf song. We thought that if we heard that song, and one time we didn't hear it on the way to a tournament, and so we called this radio show called Stevens and Pruitt, and they played it, and they sent it out to the R.L. Turner golf team, and
y'all lost.
We lost. But we felt good going into the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, here we go. And we didn't win.
Gordo, you mentioned being OCD earlier, and that's the gray area for me. Is when I was younger, I was much more OCD. And I think a lot of that I thought was me being superstitious, but it was me being OCD. Now, I don't think my aversion to the number 13 is OCD. I think that's just me adhering to a superstition. But when I was younger, for example, as a kid, I'd be out playing basketball. Mom would call me in for dinner, and I would say to myself, I have to make 10 shots in a row or else something really bad is going to happen to me.
Oh, my gosh.
So I turned that into a superstition, but I think that was more OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think kids have that a lot. I mean, I had some of that when I was a kid, and I think all kids go through a certain phase where they have to, I got to make this, I can't go in until I make this many shots. I mean, like, that is more common than you think. But it's because as a kid, you lack a lot of control over the world, and you want to think that this is somehow, the world is controllable if you just do some certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, growing up, I would want the Cowboys to win so bad that sometimes 3 or 4 days before a game, I would say, okay, if I make this, they'll beat the Steelers. And I would miss it. And I would worry about it all the way up until game time. I'm afraid they're going to lose. Why? I missed this shot of a wadded up piece of paper in my bedroom, so I don't think they're going to win. And I think I had evidence back then that they didn't win those games, which is probably, it's probably unrelated. But
Probably.
yeah, I used to worry about goofy stuff like that.
Household things, do they bother you? Like breaking a mirror? Does that bother you?
Mirrors don't bother me.
That never bothered me.
There's a lot of superstitions surrounding mirrors.
Yeah.
And it's really, I don't know why mirrors are the thing that creeped people out so much in the 1800s.
Yeah.
That they came up with a lot of superstitions. But breaking a mirror, you're not supposed to have two mirrors that face each other.
Right.
That's supposed to be really bad luck. There's a whole TikTok trend that happened recently where it was you have to cover your mirrors at night. Never sleep with a mirror that faces your bed in any way, or you need to throw a blanket over it. And so, yeah, people were covering up all their mirrors.
Yeah. Okay, that's crazy.
And why was that? Was there something?
It lets spirits in. It all has to do with the spirit world, and demons can enter the world through the mirrors at night facing your bed. They'll come in and speak to you. They're dream whisperers. And
well, and we saw those, I guess they were witches when we were growing up, looking into the mirror and who's the fairest of them all. So
yeah, you had that. You ever do the Bloody Mary thing? You stare into the mirror say Bloody Mary 3 times or something, and she's supposed to appear on your face.
No, I never heard that.
I think that's the way it was. I have done the thing where you look in your dimly lit room at night, you look in a mirror at your own face, and you'll watch it morph and change into like a demon face. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, it'll kind of go out of focus and everything.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a demon face. It just your face will get distorted to you, and you'll start noticing weird features. And
Really?
It's kind of hallucinating that you do.
How dim does it have to be?
That you can see your face, but it's fairly low light, candlelight.
Okay.
See, I think you have some sort of superstition about
I don't have
mirrors.
a superstition about it.
There's something.
I'm just saying there's a lot to mirrors that we don't know about.
There. Do you guys always pick up the penny when you see it?
No. I don't like change. I abhor change.
Well, then, but change is how we get better.
If people, I'm talking about money change, if I get change at a restaurant or something, I'll just throw it away.
Really?
Yeah, I hate change. I hate carrying change, so I would never pick up change.
Well, why do you throw it in the garbage can? You ought to at least throw it on the ground where somebody else can get good luck out of picking it up.
No, because that's my change.
Oh, see, he doesn't want anyone to have it.
I cannot walk by a penny and not pick it up. I will be bothered if I don't.
I do that too.
That's good luck.
So is that superstition? I don't do it because it's bad luck. I just do it because I think it's bad karma.
See? You have one that's picking up pennies. I just always feel like, don't turn it down.
I don't think I've ever heard that one. Is that supposed to be good luck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because somehow, no, wait a second. Maybe this is superstition. Because I think that if I don't pick up that penny, I think, who are you? Who are you that, this is just so beneath you. It's just a penny. Whoa,
Meantime, Craig's throwing away 68 cents if he doesn't. You don't save your change? You don't have like a big
No, I
thing
actually
of change?
only threw it away one time, and I think maybe, Gordo, you were in the car, and I did it just to make you laugh. It was at a drive-through restaurant.
Yeah, and you just throw the change into the garbage can.
And I got the change and then drove 10 feet forward, and they had a garbage can there, and I threw it away because I hate change. But no, what I'll usually do with change is I've got like a big mug in my office, and I put it in there.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
But you know what? Back in the day, I used to put change in there daily. Now I bet I put change in there twice a year because I never get change.
Wow.
Did they ever decide that they were doing away with the penny? I remember being talked about.
Yeah, I thought so.
What are we going to do? How are we going to get good luck if they get rid of the penny?
Well, a dime. You can still pick up a dime.
That's not good luck.
Why not? That's 10 times the good luck.
That's being greedy if you're trying to look for a dime. I just need a penny for good luck.
A dime is better luck than a penny.
I don't think so. My research shows that pennies are still good luck.
There's lots of superstitions surrounding money, right? There's buffalo nickels used to be good luck, right?
Yeah.
That was before our time because they were long gone right before we were around. Wheat pennies?
I think that's good luck too.
Why'd you say it like that?
Good luck. $50 bills are bad luck.
Yes, for sure. I will never
Give me
carry
all
a
your
$50.
$50 bills.
Yeah, I'll take them.
I have no fear of the 50.
I don't want any in my wallet. That's bad luck.
Why?
Yeah. In fact, once we
It
were going
just
to give
is.
You don't even
somebody
know why.
It just is.
I got dog cussed once because we were giving like a graduate $100 for graduation. And I said, she said, you get the money? I said, yeah, here's two 50s. We can't give him two 50s. Why not? It's $100. Let's double the bad luck. It's two 50s.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
$2 bills are good luck. That's what I heard.
I heard that too.
They don't make those anymore, right?
Man, I haven't seen a $2 bill in forever.
Yeah. In fact, one of our friends here up at the studio, his birthday was last week, and for his birthday, they gave him a card with a bunch of $2 bills.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know where they got them, if they were brand new or the $50 bill is considered bad luck because Bugsy Siegel, when he was murdered, the notorious gangster, he had only $50 bills in his pocket. And so
I thought that he had aces and eights when he was playing poker, and that's why it's bad luck.
Well, this says he had only $50 bills in his pocket, and so that led to the denomination being avoided in gambling circles.
Okay.
And led to the superstition that the $50 bill is jinxed.
Yeah, aces and eights are the dead man's hand because
gotcha.
of Wild Bill Hickok.
Oh, is that what he had in his hand?
Yeah,
Wild Bill Hiccup.
When he was killed in the 1800s. Shows you how far these things go back. So he was shot. It had nothing to do with anything he was involved with in life.
Right.
It just had to do with the aces and eights that he had in his hand.
Yeah, that's what brought him the bad luck.
God, humans are incredible. We're such meaning-making machines that we will throw meaning on the most meaningless of things.
Speaking of golfers, change relates to that, what you mark your ball with. If you're on a, birdie streak, keep marking it with the same mark. I've fallen victim to that. If I've had a good round with a certain ball marker, I'll use that the next round. Just stuff that, but maybe that is part of, could I claim routine on that? That's the routine. I like to have this quarter from the year I was born or something like that.
Makes you feel squared away in some way.
Yeah, in some way. But yeah, it's a dumb superstition. Shouldn't matter what you mark your ball with.
Was Tiger wearing red every Sunday? Was that his superstition? Or was that just something, was that a marketing thing? Or I wonder what was behind that.
I thought that was the blood that soaked his white shirt when Elin went after him.
No, he was doing that long before Elin went after him.
It was the symbolize being the red, go low and everything. But yeah, that may have been a superstition. It started at Stanford, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Serena Williams used to wear the same unwashed socks for an entire fortnight of a Grand Slam tournament.
Yeah.
That was her superstition.
Man.
That if she kept winning in those socks, she would keep wearing the dirty socks all the way through. And she won a lot of Grand Slams, so she wore those same dirty socks for a long time, a lot of times.
Man, I think athletes are so superstitious. I remember reading this as a kid, Super Bowl 10. The turning point of the game was when the Steelers blocked a Mitch Hoops punt. And apparently they're in a TV timeout right before it. And someone came running out from the end zones. The 70s. What was the deal with the 70s with people always running on the field?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a woman who ran on the field and gave a necklace to Herb Scott and said, "This is for good luck." And he went, "Get out of here with this." And he threw the necklace off the field. Next play, block punt, safety.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He should have taken
And
it.
see, we read things like that as kids, and I remember the same reaction. Wow, that cost the Cowboys a Super Bowl if he'd just hung on to the necklace.
I'm looking at a list of superstitions. These are so dumb. Never shake hands or kiss across a threshold.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of that either.
Never allow the broom to touch the feet of anyone you know
Nope.
Never heard of
when
that.
you're sweeping. Don't go home right after a wake or funeral. You got to go somewhere else first.
Are you taking some bad energy home?
Yeah.
Gosh, I hadn't heard of any of those.
Whistling indoors invites evil. Gosh, I wish more people knew about that. There's nothing worse than
For the over whistler.
getting in the elevator with an over whistler.
George is a whistler. He'll whistle walking down the hall.
I will.
But that's indoors. You better stop it.
Yeah, I just hear tunes in my head. I have to whistle along with them.
Don't do cheers with water in your glass.
Oh, really?
Man, I've done
Yeah.
that a bunch.
In fact, in Germany, if you cheer with water, you're actually wishing death on the person that you're drinking with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
a lot.
Good to know.
Do you do the you spill salt, you got to throw it over your left shoulder business?
No.
No, I've heard of that one. No, but I've never done that.
Don't flip over a cooked fish.
What?
They're so dumb. This is all so dumb.
What if
Don't-
the recipe calls for you to flip it after
flip
6
it.
minutes?
Well, don't flip it over if it's cooked. You can't flip it back over onto the cooked side.
Huh. Never heard
Don't
that.
put your keys on the table.
Okay. Everyone has bad luck then.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to put them?
Yeah, right. Don't sit at a table corner. Well, yeah, that's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
Be jabbed.
Don't sing at the dinner table. Well, that's just good manners.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to drive my dad crazy.
Yeah, my grandmother had something to do with cards. You could never play cards on the same table that you ate at.
So that's why you had a card table.
Yeah. Because you could not do it on a dining table. It was
Mhm.
somehow inviting the devil. to
Card
ra-
tables
to
still
rape
sold?
you.
I know, like nice poker tables, but then your family have a card table
Yeah,
that
we
was
did.
pretty flimsy and
Oh, they were called card tables.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we used it as just, it was basically the kids' table at every family get together.
Right. I always did the not stepping on a crack because I was afraid I'd break my mother's back.
Still do it. Or I don't know if I still do it, but I certainly did that walking down a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Just like the baseball player, you try to always walk over the line.
I did that until my mom passed, And maybe that's why she ultimately passed, because I did step on a crack. I don't know.
Maybe
But
so.
it wasn't back related.
Shouldn't have
No, it
chronic
wasn't
back
back related.
problems. No.
But every time, and occasionally you would step on a crack, and I would always think, oh my God, I hope Mom's okay.
Jeez.
I really did. Like, I was vigilant about not stepping on a crack.
My mom had a lot of superstitions.
Did she?
Oh, yeah. One time I opened an umbrella inside, and you would have thought I invited the devil and all his friends
I've
for
seen
a party.
people freak out on that one before too.
Why?
It does seem weird to open an umbrella inside. I'm kind of spooked by that one too.
We used to have to hold our breath going past graveyards.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I did that one as a kid too.
Because you don't want to breathe in death?
I guess. Or maybe the smell of graveyards. The knock on wood for good luck. I had an uncle that I knock on wood.
I still do
And it
that.
seems like most of the bosses we had would always knock on wood, things are good now. And
I bet I still
Yeah.
do that once a week, talking to somebody. Yeah, everything's going great. Knock on wood, and I'll find, and I have to knock 3 times.
Really?
You can't knock twice or 4 times. Got to knock 3 times.
Seems like we've done that when we've said something that's really bad karma too.
Mhm.
Hasn't that we do that as
Yeah.
adults, don't we? Okay, I'm gonna knock on wood after saying that. That's
Yeah.
really bad.
Like that erases the bad karma.
Right.
don't get a haircut on a Tuesday.
What?
Oh, this is restricted to India. Somehow they've geo-fenced the bad luck for getting a haircut on a Tuesday to India.
Okay.
Never think about that.
Don't walk under a ladder. We mentioned this before. That's one I do think about every time because I think I do more ladder work than the average bear. Although, George, you do a bit of ladder work.
Yeah, and I respect that one too. And when I worked for my dad and there were big ladders that would, go up to the roof, I would never walk underneath one of those.
See, I've done like 2-story ladders and, well, even 1-story ladders. I think that I started off when I first started using ladders. I would do that not walking under it. Just a ladder leaned up against the side of the house that you're getting on the roof from that. And I would not walk up under it. And what broke me of that habit, because I no longer do it, was about 6 months into doing a lot of ladder work. I realized, okay, I'm not walking up under this thing, even though it would be more convenient to get the materials I'm trying to get to. But yet I am routinely hopping the ladder along the roof line because I don't want to climb all the way down and move it over 2 feet. So I'll just kind of hop it over.
You're one of those?
Man.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm
move.
not spending my energy here on the things that would have a better result, that could bring better results.
Did you ever have to desperately hang on to the gutter because the ladder went out from under you?
I've ridden a gutter down before, yeah.
Oh my gosh. The ladder hop is the craziest maneuver
It is.
ever.
It's so dangerous. So stupid.
We have a friend who's got this superstition, and I'm right there with him. 666.
Yeah.
If I see that, it will freak me out for the rest of the day. It's
See,
like
it doesn't faze me.
it doesn't faze you.
Mm-mm. No.
You
And
wouldn't mind wearing the number 666.
I think that's a bad sports number. You only need
Is it?
2.
It's a terrible sports
I'd be number 66 and not think anything of it and pose for a picture with my friend who's number 6. That way we'd put them all together. Yeah, we have a friend who really, doesn't even want you to say 666.
Yeah, I'm not quite that bad, but I do not like if it somehow pops up during the day. I'm writing a check and I look and it's number 666 or whatever it is. Look at the odometer and the mileage says 666. If I do see that, it's staring at me. It messes with me for the rest of the day.
Would you fly on a flight 666?
No way.
On Friday the 13th? And they're transporting black cats?
In row 13?
Yeah.
No way.
You wouldn't take that as a number in a bicycle race?
No way.
You would
No.
demand another number or just rip off a 6 or something?
Yeah, and I'll see it a lot, speaking of the bike, when I'm riding on my little computer, which has miles and elevation and all this. A lot of times I'll look down and the elevation for the ride has just clicked 666. And I seem to notice that a lot. It seems like I get that number just about every ride. And I start to say to myself, is it because I'm getting a message from the underworld that evil is about to strike? Or is it because I'm looking for it? Am I also seeing the number 437 just as often?
But you don't remember
it. But you don't remember it.
Right.
And you ride a lot of miles, so that thing keeps turning, and eventually 666 is going to come up.
And it bothers me to no end every time it does.
Yeah, we got to let go of some of these things.
Let go of them.
When I'm watching golf, and he hasn't won in a while, but I swear to you, Jordan Spieth plays better if I'm not watching. I can hear he's 2 back, and I'll start watching, bogey, and then I'll go, okay, I'm going to go do something else. And then I get a text from my friend Todd, Spieth, and I went, oh my gosh. So I go back to the TV, and all of a sudden he's 3 under through 5, and I start watching again, and he just levels off. Am I bad luck?
Apparently.
No, he's just a wheels-off golfer.
He has hit some tough times.
So let me ask you this, because we started this episode by defining a superstition as a notion maintained despite evidence to the contrary. But there, George has a bunch of evidence.
I've got evidence here that
It's
I am
selected,
watching his
cherry-picked
performance.
evidence.
We have the evidence that 13 is a bad luck number to wear, with Dan Marino and Steve Nash not winning titles. Don't we have plenty of evidence to back up these superstitions?
No,
Yes,
you don't.
Because you know what? What was it, 2015?
2 different answers right there.
But here's more proof for you. Was it 2015 we went to the Masters, right?
Yes.
Jordan Spieth had the lead, and as we were leaving on Friday, you and I were having the conversation, is he going to win 5 or 6 of these?
Right.
He's so dominant. This is his course. And he had the biggest meltdown, one of the biggest meltdowns on the back 9 in Masters history, taking an 8 on a par 3. 2 days after I left that Masters. Does Jordan Spieth need to kill me to get back in the winner's circle?
See, Gordon, there's more strong evidence.
Look at George's cup over there.
What?
It's got 4 6s on it. The 4 6s ran.
Yeah, see, that's
6666. So that's not 666.
that's okay. That's
Oh, you're fine. You're totally fine.
Yeah. But if I just went like that, you'd only
I
see
know.
3.
3 6s. Don't trim your nails at night. You ever heard that one?
No.
That's the only time I trim my nails.
Yeah. I know. I don't get that. Why that would be bad. Don't kiss babies on the lips, or you will curse your baby to a lifetime of drooling.
What? A lifetime?
All right, you're just making these up on the fly.
Carry an acorn to gain immortality.
Never heard
I
that.
don't think that's going to work. Now, I do remember when I was a kid, I did have a lucky penny, and I did have a rabbit's foot at one point when I was a kid.
Were you ever thrilled by finding a 4-leaf clover as a kid?
Yes. And I found
Me
a couple
too.
4-leaf clovers.
Did you
Okay,
think you'd
yeah.
have good luck?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was stupid. Yes.
Didn't you feel bad for the rabbit, though, that you just had his foot?
I never understood that. Why is that good luck to have a rabbit's foot?
I don't know.
Some terrible injury to a rabbit, but
Yeah.
that's good luck
Lost
for you.
its foot in a snare, and all of a sudden, I'm going to win the lottery.
All of these have some story behind it, which may also be backed by evidence.
No,
See?
it's not.
There could be evidence.
It comes from a time when we thought that we would have bad weather because we sinned against God and stuff like that.
You ever do a rally cap, George?
Oh, all the time.
Oh.
Yeah, all the time. And I still find myself doing that if I'm wearing a cap and at a game. I'll turn it backwards. I'll turn it inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear I've seen evidence of that working. One of the biggest comebacks in Cowboys history. You remember when Danny White got benched in the 84 season?
No, I blocked that out.
Well, he came back the Sunday night
Who is
against
Danny
the Saints,
White?
and they were down 25, I do believe, in the fourth quarter, and he brought them back.
Of course.
And I had turned my Cowboys hat inside out.
See, Gordon? More evidence.
Boom. That one worked.
Okay. This ought to give you a little bit of insight as to the thinking as to why good luck and bad luck exist. So the rabbit's foot answer, I have it here. Hot off the AP wire.
Okay,
They're explaining
just came
why
in.
rabbit's feet are bad luck. Originated in ancient Roman times as a cure for ailments like gout.
Okay. Keep talking.
I mean, does this not sound antiquated to you?
A
In
little bit.
77 AD, Pliny the Elder claimed that carrying around a hare's foot cut off from the animal alive could cure gout.
Interesting.
And so then
He may have been
did
onto
that
something.
in 77 AD, and here almost 2,000 years later, people are still carrying around rabbit's feet.
Rubbing a rabbit's foot, watching their favorite team kick a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah, hoping they don't get gout. Dumb.
No, at least there's something behind that, though. There's something solid behind that.
One guy just wrote it down as a joke to crack up his stupid Roman friends.
I was about to say we should make an effort just to let some of this stuff go, but then what if something bad happens?
Right.
What if the Cowboys lose again because something that you're not, or whatever your favorite team is, because you're not sitting in the right spot in your living room?
So to Gordo's point earlier, do we really have to let it go? I guess if in your case, it's causing you a lot of distress throughout the day and taking a lot of mental and physical energy, and you're focusing on the bad luck or the superstition to the point where you're ignoring things in life that you need to get done. Yes,
Right.
You need to let it go.
Yeah.
But I think for most people, it takes a very small amount of energy each day. You think about it a few seconds here or there. I think you're okay holding on to your superstitions if that's the case.
Sure,
Yeah.
but just don't believe them. Just
No,
know
I
that,
don't
hey,
think
I
it
like
hurts to
doing
believe.
it. It's kind of no big deal. I just do it. But just as long as you're not really invested in the idea that this is making a difference cosmically in the world.
Right. And in some ways, does it help you deal with the stress? You're stressed anyway.
Sure.
You're watching your
Yeah.
favorite player.
That's how it
your
changes
favorite
you.
team. Well, let me sit here and I'll feel better, at least about myself sitting here. And then, yeah, if something good happens, then you have verification that helped your team win somehow.
And I would say hold on to your superstitions if you're superstitious, because over the course of our existence here on Earth, there are a lot of things that we did not believe in that one day were proved to be fact.
Like what?
Lots of things.
Okay.
Finley fascination.
Like
That doesn't make sense.
there was a time where we didn't believe that what we saw in the sky was anything other than a dome with holes poked in it. And we later proved that no, there are actually planets out there. And
I think we're back
celestial
around to
beings.
the dome with holes poked in it
Well,
if
some
you read
people-
the internet.
Some scary people believe that. But things like that, there are millions of examples of things that we didn't think were real, and then they've been proven real. And so just hold on to your superstitions, because what if one day they are proven to be real, that it works?
That's horrible logic, and I only heard one example, and it was holes poked in the dome sky.
Pick up that penny. Look out for that black cat. Don't walk under that ladder. Make sure you're sitting in the right seat
Mm-hmm.
when you're watching your team play.
How about not take unnecessary risk and have a healthy diet? That will bring you a lot more good
Yeah,
luck.
that's way too much of a
Than
process. I'm
Pounding
just
down a
talking-
cheeseburger, but I have a wheat penny in my pocket.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
All right, that is episode 14 of The Musers, the podcast. And don't forget, our special Cowboys edition of The Musers, the podcast is available for you every Thursday morning. That's when that drops, with George and Bob and special guest stars occasionally talking about the Cowboys game from the weekend before and looking ahead to the next Cowboys game. That's a bonus Cowboys edition of The Musers, the podcast, each week. Here, wherever you get your Musers podcasts, on Spotify or Apple or wherever Jesus demands it. Thanks to our producer, Peter Welpton. Thanks to all of you for listening. And remember, it's very bad luck to miss a single episode of the Musers, the podcast.
That is true.
Despite what Gordo says.
That's right.
That is bad luck. So we will see you next week for episode 15 of the Musers, the podcast.
Yes, it is also extremely unlucky if you do not follow The Musers, the podcast, wherever you're listening to it currently, whatever podcast app or whatever. So make sure you press follow. You can also email The Musers at themuserspod@gmail.com. They love to hear from you. The Musers, the podcast is a Tired Head production.